ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सवीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. As per our practice, we will also chant the Shanti mantra of this particular Upanishad. Om Apyayantu mamangani वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमतो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So in the last two sessions, we saw the first two verses. So the first one where the student was asking, ordained by whom all these sense organs work. So he listed all this, and then the answer was in a different format. So it was saying that which we are looking for as the ultimate object is basically the eye of the eye, ear of the ears, speech of speech. So that in that format it was explained. Now we'll go to the third verse. In this verse, we'll see what's said now. So we'll chant this verse first. Na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati नो मनो न विद्मः न विजानीमो यथैतदनुशिष्यात् अन्यदेव तद्विदितादतो अविदितादधि इति शुश्रुमपूर्वेषां येनस्तद्व्याचचक्षिरे. So this is how it is said. So when we saw the second line itself, the way it was explained was in a different format, unlike any other body of knowledge where when someone asks ordained by whom this happens, so it is not that answer is that, oh, this is that emperor sitting there is the person who is doing this. That was not the answer. If it was a locational based stuff, that would have been the answer. If that was fact, that would have been the answer. So we have seen this in probably Giant Robot. Some of us who had this the opportunity to watch this serial long back. This was about 81 to 86, around that time. Wherein you have a giant robot which kind of picks out people from adverse situations, difficult situations, and there's one emperor sort of who's basically the negative character who creates most of the problems. So there, if someone asked, okay, who is behind all these things, there it was put on one emperor, one funny character actually it was created, and that gentleman used to create all the problems, and this giant robot had to come all the time to undo the ill effects of that emperor. In this case, when the student asked, Keneshitam pratati preshitam manaha, Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha. So when the student asked, saying ordained by whom the mind is falling on the objects the way they do, if the answer was so-and-so sitting there is the person responsible, that would have been the answer. But the fact is not that. At the same time, when a person has to be told about something which is the cause of everything, and at the same time it is not available for objectification, like a person, or even like a robot, or even like a server somewhere sitting in the cloud, or a satellite sitting somewhere which kind of creates all these AI and creates human beings, creates problems. If that were the case, someone could have said, oh, there is one satellite there. That is the one which is creating all these problems. That's what makes you think or whatever it is. So it's not that way also. So that's the reason the answer cannot be given in that fashion as a tangible thing. Here it is. This is what you wanted. Here this problem is. Here this point is what you are asking. That's not the way the truth is actually. So we are talking about something which is all pervasive, which is everywhere, which is the super cause. So if that is the only cause, obviously it cannot have a cause in turn for its own existence. So we are looking at that kind of a ultimate object, ultimate thing which is behind everything. So to give an answer, obviously there will be difficulty, and that's what we see also in the pattern of answer. So when the answer was given that it is eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of minds, then the question is, okay, fine, is there no direct answer? Yes, there is no direct answer. The direct answer is Tattvamasi. That is the most direct answer is that actually. But anyway, that doesn't occur. That becomes even more cryptic actually, or it doesn't make any difference on the person who's uninitiated. That's why always there has to be a gradual answer that has to be given. But in this Upanishad, it is unlike Viveka Chudamani. In Viveka Chudamani, we have a very, very step-by-step approach, because it assumes that people are starting their journey from there. That's where, that's how that work is organized. And of course, Shankaracharya had given the essence of Upanishads in a different format in his work, and he wanted to give it in such a way that fine, he wanted to take people through gradually through all the concepts there. That's how it was given. In this Upanishad, as I said, it assumes that people already have background of all those other things as well already. That's where it kind of creates a springboard to the next level. It like a giant leap every time from one verse to the other verse. So it starts saying it is mind of mind, ear of ear. So definitely this statement creates a vritti. Vritti means a thought modification in the mind of person who has asked this question. When the answer comes, okay, at least it creates some pattern in his thinking where he is obviously bound to ask some more questions. So the next line says, let me read the little translation which Swamiji has given. Eyes have no access there. So when he says eyes have no access there, we have to understand Chakshusha Chakshuhu was mentioned. That which we are looking for is eye of the eyes. Okay. Now there is one first eye, there is one second eye mentioned. Eye of the eyes. So this eye what we are seeing here is the second one what is mentioned, which is little lower level, and eye of the eye, the first one, is the ultimate. So here when it is said that eyes have no access there, we are talking about the second one, Chakshusha Chakshuhu. The second one we are talking about, not the ultimate one. So eyes have no access there. The organ of speech also does not reach there, nor does the mind. So basically sense organs does not reach there. We do not recognize it as an object. So this is also very clearly mentioned. That's what I was saying. If it was an emperor, we could have just told he is that guy. It is not like that. So that thought modification is being brought, that idea is being properly given in this line actually to the adhikari. We do not therefore know how to impart this knowledge in any other way. See, I think Swamiji, when he is writing, those supplements what he is giving in bracket, this is where that Guru Shishya Parampara, the Sampradaya works. Since for us, he is available in the form of book here. As of now, whatever lecture he had given in that form, it's very nicely captured here and given this way. So the supplementing part is very important. That part is basically coming through Sampradaya. And in the absence of this supplement, it will be very difficult to understand the direct meaning of what is being said. So Here, when it is said, we do not, if I remove those what is supplemented, no, those words what is supplemented, it will look this way. We do not know how to impart this knowledge. It will be absurd. You are going to someone thinking he is going to give knowledge, and you are asking based on what the mind is following and based on what these five senses are working. And if he happens to say, we do not know how to impart this knowledge, that will be absurd. So you see the supplementing here, what is happening here. We do not, within bracket, therefore, know how to impart this knowledge, within again bracket, in any other way. So it said, the way it was explained, श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रं मनसो मनोयत् वाचोह वाचं सबु प्राणस्य प्राणः चक्षुषश्चक्षुरतिमुच्य धीराः प्रेत्यास्मान् लोकात् अमृता भवन्ति. It is said that way because we do not know in any other way how it can be said, because it is not like a mustard that this is the cause, please take it. That is not like that. So that's why it is said here very clearly. It is indeed different from the known and also from the unknown. See, all this, no. This is where many a times, whenever you see the WhatsApp forward videos of Swami Nityananda, it's given as a joke many a times, but then he makes sense most of the time when he talks. But that's how it looks, when we want to pursue the ultimate, words will, fall short of explaining the ultimate. That's where one has to create these kind of boundaries, and also remove the boundaries by creating such boundaries, by creating such ideas. Here what is said, it is indeed different from the known and also from the unknown. Now what will the Adhikari understand now? It is different from the known and also from the unknown. Okay, but we will see. Thus, we have heard from our predecessors who expounded it to us. So basically this is talking about the Sampradaya, saying that okay, it is revealed this way only because this is how it is unveiled to us by our gurus as well. It's what is mentioned there. So, what we are looking for, or what that sadhaka asked, was basically based on whom everything else is working. So basically he is relating to that ultimate cause. So if a person has to be guided to that ultimate cause, Shastra knows very clearly, okay, the ultimate cause is you, the one who's inquiring. But if it gives that statement right away, which we have seen in Viveka Chudamani already, if it gives that statement right away, it will be like a giant leap, much more than what it was saying in Mantra 1 actually. So straight away a person is asked to do a side sit-up straight away like this, on the day 1. Without any warm-up, you can imagine what will happen. He'll freeze in the side sit-up position, then someone has to take him in stretcher actually. That's what will happen. So, when someone comes and asks, saying, okay, Ke neshitam patati preshitam manaha, and then the answer comes, boss, it is by Brahman and you are that. If that answer comes straight away, this guy will be, wow, what is happening? So, the answer will not go, easily. So this is where I think we have seen materially also things the way they work. Something which is cold or something which is hot, on that when you put something which is cold, it will just burst actually. It will just burst. So the sadhaka also will act like that only. But then we need our mind and body to be kept in an ambient atmosphere. So in ambient atmosphere, for it to thrive for some time until knowledge happens. So some of the shocking revelations can become difficult, for continuing such an ambient atmosphere. So Upanishads and any other teaching has to take the student from one particular step to the next step where it is still maintaining the ambient temperature. So that ambient temperature has to be maintained. If it is too different, then student will be lost in the way actually, on the way. So here it says that na tatra chakshur gacchati. So having said the first line, now it is saying na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati. So basically it is saying that Brahman exists. It was already said in the first, na aham brahman nirakuryam ma brahma nirakarut. It's very clear. Let Brahman not reject me. Let me not reject Brahman. Brahman as a cause is or was already revealed there in those verses. Now, how to fetch, how to see, what shape it is of. That's what we are now understanding. So there it says, sense organs cannot reach it. So now again another piece of information is being given that sense organs cannot reach it. Now the sadhaka has to understand, okay, eye of I is okay, now I understood a little bit, though it's a little hazy, maybe later we have to understand. And now it's saying that we can't even reach. None of my sense organs can actually reach. So this is what is being said to me. Then what is that? Then the question on the part of sadhaka can be, okay, for me understanding is basically perception and inference. And if this cannot be used for getting this knowledge, then what do I do? Will be a question. That definitely will happen. After this, definitely that will be revealed. But then at this point in time, this can happen. But at this point in time, one of the thought modification being brought out by these verses is that please understand that it is not like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee that you can just go and grab. The ultimate cause is something which is beyond this. And then again, so there is one vritti which is getting created. It cannot be accessed by senses. Okay. Now what else it is saying? It is also saying that it is neither a known thing nor an unknown thing. That is also mentioned here. So now a person has to understand, okay, senses cannot reach it, though difficult, okay, we can still understand, but because we'll be expecting some more things to be revealed later. But for the moment, the sadhaka will accept it, okay. This is an extra piece of information that has come in now. And then one more line is said that it is said that it is neither a thing which is known nor a thing which is unknown. So normally things can fall only in these two categories as far as we are concerned. Either we know something or we do not know something. That's how it happens. Now here it says it's neither a thing that is known nor a thing that is unknown. So what is the context here? Since all of you have gone through Viveka Chudamani, we can discuss that because you will know the context. So it is not a thing that is known. This means that it is not a thing that is known like something which is known by sense organs. Like I know blue color. Brahman is not like that. Though blue color is also Brahman, but when we are asking for Brahman, we are asking in totality to understand he is Brahman. This is what we want to understand. When we say blue color, it is one of the aspects of Brahman. It is not Brahman. For example, if I take for example Ashish, since his alphabet is A, I am taking him as an example. Ashish as an example. I can't say that Ashish's nail is Ashish. Ashish's nail is also Ashish. It is fine. When I say nail, the one with the finger, I'm saying it is also Ashish. But then you focus micro into that, that will have its own cells. Actually, nail will look something totally different. And if you take only one picture of that and put it saying this is Ashish, that becomes a problem. So, as a seeker, at least we know one thing, that when I want to see something, I want to see the whole of it. When I want Ashish, I want at least, even if it's a 2D picture, I want the full picture of Ashish at least. ठीक है, कम से कम face तो, at least the face part of it, because that's where we recognize the most actually. ऐसा नहीं कि you just remove the face and give every other picture, it doesn't work. Of course, there are many skilled people who take pictures like that, that's a different thing. But it is not going to help actually. So, from a mind perspective, normally we expect something to be obviously objectified only through five senses, either by seeing or by touching or whatever. Only through this we try to understand. So obviously, as a seeker, when we are in the initial stage, this is how we start and the questions will be based on that. However, since Shastra knows that we are coming from our own understanding and our own standpoint, which is totally wrong, it has to now get us to a different level of understanding to fetch the truth. Shastra knows this. So now, as I said, when this change is indispensable for the truth to be really understood by the sadhaka, Shastra cannot do a lip sympathy saying, yeah, what you're saying is right, and then now I think I'll try to get you one Brahman. It cannot say. You ask me one question, who is the person? Let me get you that person in front of you. It will never say like this. It has to create that bridge which is going to be helpful to change the perspective, to change from where the sadhaka is coming, and it precisely knows where he is wrong. And if it tells directly, it's not going to be appreciated. It has to gradually take him through with as many words as only it can take through. So this is what is happening here. So it is saying it is not known as something which is known, and also it is not something which is unknown. So known wise, it is this way that most of our understanding is we understand through five senses. It is saying na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati no mano na vidmaha. None of these five sense organs is going to be useful for you to see it, even if I show you. Straight away, done. Now sadhaka has to understand what more. It also says it is not an unknown thing as well. Since Viveki Chudamani was already known, it is easy for me to tell you it is as to what it means. It is not an unknown thing. How? When, for example, we have this stock example of my favorite example of space. When there is a material thing, space which accommodates it, which is an integral part of it, is given. Always there. It's always there. If a material thing could come and tell me, for example, if a TV comes and asks you, saying that, hey, which space I am occupying, what is the concept, what is the tattva which is helping me to exist spatially? So the tattva is very clear, which is space. Space allows everything to exist. That is the basis on which it is existing. So now you being kind of at the Shastra level, you will say, it is simple, yaar, space. Itna bhi pata nahi kya, you are just occupying space. Always it is there and you don't know. So this is the sense that's being given. It is not a complete unknown thing as well, because it is always there, because you are in that. The one who is asking the question, that particular mind is in that. It is operating in that, using that only. In fact, it is asking this question as well. If at all there is something called existence, it is not even space. It is this consciousness based on which everything is working. And if a person is forgetting that, basically, unfortunately, one has to say that it is not something which is totally unknown. It is always known. How? It is known because the entire concept of knowledge, knowing, consciousness, SCI, to know, is only that, based on which everything is happening. So just like the way you have this knowledge, that you will say that, boss, this space has been always there. What kind of a crazy question you are asking? Without space, you can't be there. None of your components also can be there without space. That's where we start. That's where everything starts, including you. This is what you will tell the TV. So just see that now you put Shastra in that position. Shastra is coming back and saying, boss, it is not something which can be known through your five senses. At the same time, it is not a thing which is totally unknown, because it is always there. It is just always there. Maybe it is completely kind of not recognized. That's why the word realization helps. Self-realization, it helps in that sense. It's there, not realized. You have the pen with you. You didn't know it was with you. You started asking others, can you lend me your pen? You asked 10 guys, all the 10 guys rejected, and finally someone gave you a pen which could write after maybe 50 attempts of your trying to scribble somewhere. Fine, you got into that kind of difficulty only because you didn't realize that you were just carrying a pen. It is just that probably it was inside, it was not clipped on the pocket, and maybe when you felt, you couldn't feel that it was really there. The pocket was thick enough, perhaps. It's just that you didn't know. That error can cause this kind of havoc. That havoc only is happening even today. That's the kind of havoc which is happening today. Just like the TV not understanding that its existence is space. Jiva also doesn't understand that its existence is consciousness. But the only difference is, in the case of TV, it is not space. You can say there is a difference there. But here, in the case of Jiva, it is Parama even now. Just that due to misunderstanding, it understands or it takes itself to be the body mind. It's complex, which is where the entire thing starts. Everything starts from there. So Shastra will take us to that point in any case later. But at this point also, when it is saying, it is neither a thing that is known nor a thing that is unknown. This is the meaning, this is the background of this. Fine, we can go around here for discussions. Anyone can start any point, either in this verse or previous verse. We can have discussions. Kaushik, Ashish, Nikhil, Mahadev, anyone? As I said before, Kenopanishad is something where it's got, you can say, a longer, in AP, what do we call it actually? Common difference. Common difference, no?
Common difference.
Common difference. It's got a longer common difference. Kenopanishad between one verse to the other verse. So that's the reason it needs a little discussion before we proceed to the next verse. Always, it needs that. That's the reason I will not hurry to the next verse now. Yeah, Ashish, you want to say something?
No, I don't have a question right now. Probably I will come back.
Yeah. No problem. No problem. Anything probably which you might have read and from the book itself, any particular doubt which is there, we can discuss that.
Actually, Bhaskarji, more than a doubt, I think it is always the thing is the struggle is always with chitti shuddhi. Knowing one is knowing, and it can't be forgotten. But the body mind sense, the problem is with body mind sense complex. The body mind sense complex. Like I will tell you, today is Mauni Amavasya. Now I can keep Maun Vrat, but what is Maun Vrat? Not only that I don't speak, it's also that my man doesn't speak, and I'm able to focus, not focus per se, but I'm able to know I'm there where what I am, who I am, and like I think for me it would have been that I am like I think that instead of thinking all the man running, which is its job, I'm able to put that mana in one thing, and it's maybe Krishna or my Rama, that is for me would be Mauni Amavasya, the Vrat. And my mind is also not chattering. It has to chatter something, so let it chatter Rama rather than chatter something else. Because that also doesn't happen, It keeps, that's a constant, what I should say, work in progress for me now.
I know. And to add to it, even if you get the resolve, you know, this verse is saying that the speech cannot reach there.
The speech cannot reach there.
Not even mind can reach there. But anyway,
So, but
upasana is different. Yes, we can still keep there actually. Definitely, that has to be there. I'm just for joke sake, I was saying that.
but at least it will help me with chitta shuddhi.
Yeah, yeah,
If
definitely
nothing,
yes.
something the body, mind, sense will do something.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
has
yeah.
to do something.
Definitely
So
yes.
let it better do this rather than watching TV or rather than chit chatting. You
Absolutely.
better do that. So I want to make that choice. The body, mind, sense wants to make that choice, and it will help me in chitta shuddhi.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed.
But that is also a problem. That chitta shuddhi is also a problem. I think that resolve is there, but money is as it's supposed to be, or because of whatever the vritti, it keeps doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's one big issue I feel.
Correct. I think the Triguna works that way. It has its natural, that magnetic tendency towards samsara. So that's how it works. So it will either have chinta or vilapa. So that in Titiksha's definition we heard that Bahyanalambanam vrittehe yesha uparitiruttama sahanam sarva dukkanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilapa rahitam sa titiksha nigadhyate. So the chinta and vilapa, they are always there as a part of samsara. It's not easy, and that's the reason it was given as sadhana. And in fact, good that you shared that today is Mauni Amavasya. I know that it's Amavasya, I have to perform rituals after the session. But good that you shared it is Mauni Amavasya. Now I understand why no one is speaking up. It was a wrong day to choose for at least Vedanta session, because Vedanta session doesn't work without dialogues. Good that you mentioned that. So also I think people have taken it so kind of literally that न तत्र चक्षुर्गच्छति न वाक् गच्छति. बोले यहाँ पे पूछ के क्या फायदा. न तत्र चक्षुर्गच्छति न वाक् गच्छति. Speech cannot reach there. But one good thing is that yes, speech cannot reach there in that sense. But anyway, speech can reach to a person who's discussing, who can remove the ignorance. By that way, the person is already going to reach. So that's what the idea is actually. In fact, here, as I said earlier also, the travel is just from oneself to oneself. It's not from oneself to any other thing. I don't know what will Google say if you just put, from the same location to same location, what is the distance? It'll be interesting for me to see it also later actually. So just put, water lily to water lily, travel. I don't know what it will say. We have to just check this. So here, here the travel is from self to self actually. That is the travel. The travel in terms of distance, there is no distance. Actually, in terms of the person, it is the same person. But are there doubts? Yes. Actually, what separates the person from the person is the doubt. Just the doubt. And all this while, when we are in the spell of this Dehatma Buddhi, samsara is so big, and internally itself the world is so big actually, so big. It becomes very difficult, definitely for sadhana. And that's where I think the Shastra and Sampradaya says very clearly that sadhana is indispensable. That it says very clearly, sadhana is indispensable. If at all there is a discipline and something to be done, and something to be done as a karma, that is the karma. Otherwise, only vichara is going to get rid of samsara and get moksha.
But Bhaskari, there also it's a vicious cycle. Because, one is forcing yourself to do something, and one is it is happening because I know the truth. Like one is forcing yourself, what should I say, किसी चीज को छोड़ना. One is, for example, there is a vessel that one is forced. Then the person will go back to it after a while.
Agree.
If So I think chit-chatting is also a vessel. Chit-chatting of mind. Not only by tongue I'm saying, mind also. It's a vessel only. So if I force myself, so what happens? It again goes back. And another thing is that, when because I know the truth, because I know I am Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta, and it just stops. It doesn't happen because I'm not that. If that happens, then it's just beautiful. I mean,
Yes.
it will just.
Agree. I think that awareness and knowledge about anything is superior. To a larger extent, it kind of controls the tendencies. One example I'll give, tendencies and habit both. So, I know someone who's quite elderly, and that person has the habit of kind of making a kind of simple salad or a kind of a whatever, mix of things out of banana when it becomes ripe, the maximum when it's ripened. So normally when banana turns almost black, this elaichi banana, normally I would say that let us not consume it, let us throw it out. That's what I used to normally do. But then that person used to advance the thing, saying no, it's quite sweet, it's very good, delicious, we can do something like this. So that's one approach. Okay. Recently I saw one Facebook post where so nicely they had given one post, and then I took a picture and sent it to that person. It was giving different colors, different stages of banana. So it's starting from kind of greenish yellow from to yellow, then yellow with little bit of spots, black spots, little bit more black spots, and totally predominantly black. So 5 stages, and each of these stage it was giving what is the nutrient you have. So the first one had, I think, vitamins, this, that, many things. In between, next level, it has got something more, something less. The last stage was only sugar. Every other vitamin kind of was gone, and last stage was not even fiber actually. Everything was sugar. So this was giving probably a better idea, because that person himself or herself itself, whatever you can call it, was senior citizen. So if the moment I convey this in this fashion, automatically then it will be taken properly in the spirit that okay, fine, it's going to harm because it's completely sugar, because that person has a sugar problem as well. So you are right. Knowledge, when it is given, it is useful to a larger extent to control tendencies, but it is only useful to a larger extent. When I say knowledge, it's more like contemporary knowledge, not self-knowledge itself. Self-knowledge, when it occurs, everything is gone actually. After that, there is no question to be asked actually. But even in this process also, whenever any conceptual thing is given, mind knows that. Mind may still want to ignore it and go, but then mind has to every time ignore it and then only do the other thing. It has to first ignore that suggestion. For example, if doctor says that no, you did this, that's the reason you have this problem, next time don't do this. So before doing it the next time, at least this information will come. I am not supposed to do this, doctor has asked me not to do this. That will come. That is inevitable. That will come, and over a period that only is going to change the habit also. No doubt.
Right.
Good. Since it is whatever Mauni Amavasya, I will not trouble others today. We can finish the session early also today, no problem. Unless Mahadev has something which normally Mahadev has a lot of creative things to share. Mahadev, you want to say something?
Yeah, Master, see what I'm actually thinking is, and it's a more of a question now, which is, look, if none of the senses can help me understand what the Atman is, how do I know that I have the means of knowledge to understand what the Atman is, and whether I even have it or not, or is it like a go no go thinking? Will I ever have the level of so I'll try and clarify what I'm sort of thinking. So yesterday late night, I was coming back home with some friends, and things turned to a very dark sort of domain where people started talking about ghosts and how someone went through a haunting and someone was possessed, and this person was narrating because it was like a first person account.
Oh.
And so one of the things that friend said was that there are spaces on Earth or certain places which are sort of like portals to connect with the spirit realm, right? Now, the question I'm sort of asking is, for us, the sense organs are the portals to connect to the wider world,
Correct.
right? Now, if the Atman is unknowable by the sense organs, if it is unknowable by our mind, it is unknowable by our intellect, it is unknowable by all these, I mean, unknowable by everything that I know I have at my disposal, then by implication, it is knowable only by something that I know or that I do not know I have. Sorry, it's becoming like a very esoteric question, but
Yeah, it is difficult, I know.
yeah,
Words will, you will fall short of words even for explaining that problem. I understand.
yeah, yeah. So the question that so if I try to distill the question that that's coming to my mind is this: that if the Atman is unknowable by everything I know I have or do not have, then by implication the Atman is knowable only by something I do not know. Right? So how do I know that thing which I do not know, which can make the Atman knowable?
So, and I understood your point. See, here, what's happening is the person who's asking this question is asking this question. So, let us see the component of this person. Every person is, or everything is, consciousness plus that thing. Everything is consciousness plus that thing. Everywhere. So in a person's case, when we are talking about a sadhaka, this sadhaka is basically to start with consciousness, from where everything comes. Consciousness is Maya, is space. Okay, so now the ultimate cause is consciousness, out of which you get space, and when you get space, obviously the Panchamahabhuta. From there everything happens. So it is basically consciousness plus Panchamahabhuta. The additional part there is that ignorance. So that ignorance only creates that boundary of a person identifying himself as a person. That capsule is the issue. The encapsulating part is the issue. And the best thing is, when we told the TV that without the space, the TV does not exist. Correct? Without space to start with, nothing can start, and hence TV also cannot be existing without space. Correct now? Now, TV having come out of space, we can say it has kind of encapsulated the space, but not in the sense of an ultimate capsule. Because as it moves to the next space, the previous space is foregone seamlessly, and it just occupies another space. So is this the ability of TV, or is this the ability of space? It is the ability of space, because space accommodates all so seamlessly. So that's very important. We have to keep on reminding ourselves of this point. So when we see the component of a sadhaka, the starting point is consciousness. When consciousness is not understood, that's where you have Maya and space and Panchabhuta coming into picture. This is where we have samsara. When samsara is happening, automatically two things are happening. Our encapsulation, including this consciousness and space, creating one ego saying, I am so and so. This encapsulation is the starting point. The moment in this encapsulation, for example, in a pie chart, which is universal, Brahman is pie chart, I can call it, one circle, complete. Okay? From that point, just draw two lines, automatically one jiva is defined. Now, unfortunately, when this encapsulation is happening on one side, everything else is samsara. That's it. That's it. If you ask me, world is not many. World is only self plus anything other than oneself. Self and the not self is only world. Because each of us, when we have the experience, we have this only experience of self. Even if I say not the ultimate self, we can just say self is, this jiva. The way we are encapsulated, whatever, amoeba or whatever it is, earthworm, this. Maybe we can take this person as the jiva. This package, the moment this encapsulation happens, it is just me versus everything else outside of it. That's it. Only two things, nothing else actually. I don't even need to worry about a creator actually. It is just me versus another thing. Now we have to understand who this me is all about actually, the one who is asking this question. The components are very clear. Consciousness, space, then you have all this 5 Pancha Mahabhuta including that space, and that's where one ego getting formed through this encapsulation. That encapsulation is just ignorance. It is not formed out of any modification in terms of physical parameters. Physical parameters are not the basis in which it is formed. If, for example, if we have an iron billet, we melt it and we give a shape through either a die casting or through a forging. One of these methods. Energy has gone to create this, and to undo that, you have to again give energy, similar energy, to undo that shape to a different shape. Here, this ignorance being the reason for this division, wherein this person assumes this existence, and as he assumes existence, the partition just creates other side. The other side is samsara, and samsara is so much, including green tea and coffee, both. That's how samsara is actually. So if this is what it is, if this just one line of ignorance can create a samsara for me, which sometimes is easy to handle and sometimes very difficult to handle. If this is the case, then actually one has to understand then how to get rid of it. So getting rid of it does not require actually 1700 degree melting again, ideally in this case, because it was not formed out of a physical process. It was a mental process, and it only needs that mental engineering to change. So whom to operate upon? We don't need to operate upon samsara. We don't need to operate upon the ultimate cause. The only encapsulated part, the encapsulation has to be taken care of. Just de-encapsulate it, automatically everything is one. That separateness idea is gone, akhandavritti is born. That's all. So what we are doing here is just poking that ignorance, getting that rid of ignorance at all. So mind is something which has a particular fixed idea based on which it wants to understand things. And if you keep on feeding information to it the way it wants, even God cannot tell a time when it will understand this ultimately. Like Einstein was looking for a universe, one kind of a theory actually, saying one formula he wanted to give to express what world is. One formula. While trying to do that, with this material approach, he came with E is equal to mc square. And then there is something called theory of everything. So basically you see, everyone is trying to understand what is this everything all about. What is everythingness all about? One thing which has to be very clearly seen is, as long as this guy as a scientist or an observer or as a sadhaka wants to nurture this encapsulation layer, samsara will still remain samsara, and we can understand samsara by when it can be known. At one point of time, it was thought that E is equal to mc square is ultimate. After that, someone else comes and improves upon the topic. After that, someone else comes and improves upon the same topic. Either they may disprove the earlier one, or they may say this could have been said even better this way, and this method is working even better. So samsara is like this. Since Shastra knows this, it knows that by giving material knowledge, engineering knowledge, saying that this is how world is working, it is going to be a never-ending road. So straight away it comes to the point saying that, boss, your understanding is wrong. Correct your understanding. If you are thinking you are small, it is your problem. This is where you have drawn a wheel for yourself. This encapsulation has happened. That's why you see world at large for you. And that encapsulation, just remove it. It is just a wheel. And since it is mental, mentally it can be removed. And how it is able to help? If Panchabhuta, is obviously, everything is him only, so including Panchabhuta. If the five senses cannot reach it, then where is the means? The only means is very simple. The five senses have a wheel to start with. This is the wheel of ignorance, and that wheel definitely can be undone by Shabda Pramana. What is coming to us for our vichara, for our thought modification, is in the form of words. So words can definitely reach, and that is how Shastra is making its effort. So because words are just not words, they have meaning within them. So this is how, just like the way in laparoscopy, we put equipments, we put the source of light also which can go inside. Everything goes inside this only. Switches, everything that has to either cut or paste, everything goes inside through this actually, and with the monitor you can see, you can do it. Like that, Shastra knows that thoughts can be very easily captured by Shabda, basically by giving the meaning. So meaning and Shabda, they are always together when it is revealed properly. Okay, one is Shravanam, then Mananam, Nitidhyasanam. So Shravanam alone becomes only sound. Mananam, Nitidhyasanam, then purport is understood. So Shastra knows very clearly, okay, ears are available to this sadhaka, give the knowledge through Shabda, and that's where vichara happens. If one were to ask a question, okay, if the listening sense was not available, would it have been difficult? Yes, it would have been very difficult actually. To give only a kind of a pictorial representation to show what Brahman is, it's going to be very, very difficult. Only through Shabda Pramana it can be revealed. It cannot be revealed by any other method actually. So, Shabda, they make a correction in the coding inside, thereby removing that encapsulation, that layer what we have formed. That's the cause of samsara. This goes and kills that. The moment this kills that, automatically this person is free. That mind which asks this question is itself free, because it understands that that mind only is the encapsulation. It understands, I am the encapsulation, so let me be quiet. Job is already done, I am already Parama. This is the understanding. This is how Shastra operates on it. The necessary ingredient, which is ignorance, is available in us. Shastra has to only operate on that ignorance. It need not operate on anything else.
Bhaskarji, can
Yes.
we add to that? Like the question is that how Shastra is saying that the Brahman cannot be known through senses or perception or inference. That's what Shastra is saying. And then the Shastra says that it can be only known through Shabda Pramana, which comes down through Sampradaya. Now, what happens that, again, because of, we are born in India, we are Hindus, so since very childhood, we have been told about Brahman, about Atman, and so we have a general thing. But if I erase all that, if I erase that thing, that, pre-knowledge which I have, if I erase, and if the question is asked, if I, rather than asking that how to know Brahman, if I ask myself that who am I? Like you just said, like, is this nail? Is this nail? Am I this nail? No, I'm not this nail, but this nail can't be there without me. If I'm not there, the nail can't be there.
Correct.
The kidney inside me is, am I the kidney? No, but the kidney, I'm not the kidney, but even if the kidney is not there, then the body mind and complex won't be there if the kidney goes missing. But I'm not the kidney also, because again, but if the kidney is there, not only physically, it is even functioning because of something which I am. So I'm bigger than the kidney again. This question, this question, like Maharishi Raman also says, who am I? So if I remove that pre-knowledge and if I remove the quest for Brahman, if the quest remains only for who am I, if the question is there, I will use my body, I will use my mind, I will use my senses to find the answer for that. But then somewhere, as you're saying, that probably that and then the Shabd Pramana comes, and I take help of the Shastra somewhere, and then keep introspecting and keep like having session, like I have a guru, and then I have my discussions with other people who are interested in this. So the Shabda is only happening. The Shabda Pramana is only there encapsulating me everywhere. So probably somewhere that grace will happen where, where, where the thing will be known, where the ignorance will be dropped probably. I think that for the lack of word I will say.
Correct. So each of this mind, it has certain wrong conclusions because of vasanas or whatever it is. So these wrong conclusions only are getting corrected by Shastra. So that's the reason Shastra has to keep on banging the idea, the existing idea. It has to keep challenging. So it challenges the existing idea, it introduces a new idea in which it tries to form the thought modification. But the idea is to come out of all sense of limitation actually. Wherever we have said, oh, this is how this is, it creates a change in their understanding. See, again, if we want to understand through senses, how this will be, for example, everythingness is the main thing actually. Everything, we want the totality. If totality, one word is infinity. So by infinity, what will we understand? Infinity, you see, this is a very nice person. There is one student, who he was probably getting into medical stuff at that point in time, long back. I'm talking about 20 years before. So he was telling me that infinity is a funny thing. So we think that, okay, if you understand from the point where I am, if I can reach the maximum, if I can imagine a maximum point in space just in one direction, what would be the distance? That distance, if I, for that distance, first of all, I have to fix one point there. Somewhere where I want to fix the point, I have to fix that point there actually. Even if it is in light years. Even if I fix that point and I am able to express in 1000 light years or 500 million light years, I am able to say, only simple question to undo that will be, okay, what is there after that point? That's all. The entire point is collapsed now. Now I can't even imagine now. That's the reason somewhere I have to end up saying, where I am not able to imagine anything, I have to say it's infinity. And this student, this gentleman, he was saying, uncle, actually infinity is finite sometimes. I said, okay, how it is? He was saying, take a scale, it's got 30 centimeters, that is finite. Okay. Now, how many points we can define within this 1 centimeter to 30 centimeters? Or from this point 1 to point 2, how many lines we can draw within this? Can we ever quantify? I was saying, no. So within these two distance also, when you see from another perspective, how many points I can define? For example, we go to centimeter, millimeter, whatever meters we can go down to, nano, whatever you can go down to. Everything will have another divider. We can just put anything you give as a numerator or anything you give something. I'll make it as a numerator, I'll put another denominator, I will say, you now give this. So if I have to divide something into certain partitions, if the question is how many partitions I can create, then it is very, very, very subjective. In millimeters, how many I can do, then that is very easy for me to say. 10 millimeters for 1 centimeter, I can say. But okay, then if you say decimeter or some nanometers and then you go down, okay, now the question will be, what kind of definition we can go down to the maximum or minimum, whichever you call it. Words fall short actually. Either your maximum, minimum, whatever you call it actually. So that becomes infinite. So he was trying to give me a perspective, say, uncle, within finite you will find infinity. So this is there. See, this is how mind works. So if this is the case, where do we conclude? So basically we are looking at that, we want to fathom the totality. So when we want to fathom the totality, and I am saying that we go to Shastra saying, I want to fathom totality, give it to me in this flask. Give it to me in this flask. The Shastra will assume, boss, have you decided, who told you that totality is only this much? You are coming to me with the container and saying the totality इसके अंदर दे दो, भिक्षा पात्र में लेके आया हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे पास पात्र इतना ही, उसके अंदर दे दो. But Shastra cannot give that, no. Shastra has to say, Shastra has to say that this is bigger. At the same time, is it so big? It is big. Okay, then what is small then? Am I very small? No. That ultimate thing is smaller than you. The smallest is that. The biggest is also that. See, The perspectives again have to be changed. It has to be given. So that's where when mind goes, it goes with a size. And that size, if everything has to be given to its size, we'll say, boss, you cannot reach that ultimate. Please understand. All that you can understand is that you are mithya. More than this, don't do anything. Just understand the one who's confused, the one who's totally having pralapa, this guy, the one which is mind, appearing as mind, it is matter, it's going to just annihilate in some time. Just wait, keep quiet until then. The real one, consciousness, which is seemingly embedded into this, which is the one which is basically interpreting all these things, is already free. You won't have any trouble. Mind has to be just relaxing until the time it is. That's all. So that's where it says, don't think that you're going to get this within this flask, this entire world. No way. No way, because that big thing, everything is not small thing. This flask is in that. Obviously, you cannot get it directly. That's how it is.
So for my understanding, I will try to rephrase it, Bhaskarji. Please correct me if I am doing wrong. So it is that with my limited body mind sense complex, that I am Sonia, I think I am Sonia, and I want to know everything, that okay, with this limited body mind sense complex, you tell me who am I? And when I keep searching means I keep having the discussions, and I keep talking, and I keep thinking, Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana, I keep doing it. And then this encapsulation of flask or the body mind sense complex, it drops. And then I know who really I am.
Yes.
I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the senses, I am not this raga, dvesha, I am not this. It is, I am the cause of all this.
Yes. What it says, I think the approach is very simple. As I said, this jiva, the one who's asking this question, is consciousness, which is totality, plus all this panchabhuta, because of maya. That in that one of the ingredient we need is ignorance. That ignorance is also part of it actually. So in the third step itself, this encapsulation has got formed. That's where samsara is. Now you see, our approach is to go forward and pursue samsara, and that's how we have been trained. Just give me 1 minute. Someone rang the bell. No one is opening the door. Let me just open the door and come. Give me a minute. So what we do normally is, so with or without this background, we just go forward, pursuing samsara. We may pause to understand what samsara is, or we may just pursue samsara, just going ahead with the pleasures. Okay, you have water, just drink. Don't think where the water comes from. Water is there, drink. Food is there, eat. People are there, enjoy. So that's how normally this pursuit is. All of us understand, with this limited body, it's impossible to visit every place that is sold as a tourist destination. Even within one country, it is impossible. Even if we say it is possible for Ambanis and so on. So, assuming they can do it for maybe half of this world, or let us assume they can do this for entire world. They can go every place to see what they are, what that place is all about. Then what about Mars? What about Moon? What about Jupiter? What about any other place where there can be a place of, they sell it as a virgin spot of tourism. So then what about those places? So this way, where to pursue samsara on that side, the forward side, is going to be impossible. That's what science is trying to do. The forward side, it is trying to do. Shastra is very clear. If there are steps, this side the step is infinite, but the starting point is finite. How many steps we came? We came probably 2 steps towards samsara, because the second step only samsara got formed. From that we are going towards samsara. Now, while pausing, somewhere in between, when we took through 2-3 steps, and then we pause saying, oh no, I want to understand really what is there this side. It's too big for me to reach this side. I want to know whether my direction is right and what am I supposed to do. Then Shastra says, pause, stay where you are. Actually, your nearest point is just behind you. That's where it says the encapsulation point is the place where this samsara got formed. Now that the samsara has got formed, you are asking questions about this samsara. Just step back. It is basically asking us to step back. Step back, cross that point where you had ignorance. How to cross that point? Knowledge is the antidote. So by giving knowledge to that particular point where the ignorance happened, where all wrong conclusions and bondage comes into picture, it makes us step back and reach our original status where there was no problem at all. Just it makes us reclaim our Swarajya, our Rajya. That's what is Swarajya. So here Shastra is very, very clear. I think Shastra knows Lean Six Sigma, everything it knows. To pursue world, to really understand world, like Einstein spent 60 years, become wise, and someone can give you Nobel Prize, okay, if at all. Or, abduct through 2-3 guys and then you will get Nobel Prize. These things can happen actually. But after Nobel Prize, someone will say that, it was not at all worth it. Trump, Trump is one big guy actually. Kya hai, is this Nobel Prize? Then finally Nobel Prize is abolished. क्यों? ट्रम्प जैसे लोगों को दे रहे तो क्या फायदा देने का अभी निकाल दो. It's gone and some other prize will come. Then people will have to aspire for that. World has no end to these things actually. So Shastra is very clear. It takes us to the place where that point where samsara got created. That point it goes actually when mind gets created, when jiva gets created, samsara gets created. It takes us to the point where ignorance happened. Just it says step back. In this flight. So when I think the initial instruction when it comes, they say you have 2 exits, emergency exits there, 2 here, and follow this path, and it's quite possible that the emergency exit is just behind you. They say this actually. Now I'm just linking it to this actually. Shastra is saying, boss, emergency exit is just in the previous step. You came ahead, just one step ahead actually. Just in the previous step it was there actually. It gives this knowledge. And it just makes a step back. Where? To consciousness level. That's it. And when you step back, you are consciousness. You are not this encapsulated jiva. That's where jiva to parama. That's where jiva to parama status is obtained just by stepping back. Stepping forward, we can keep on getting Nobel Prize. We can keep on aspiring for the Nobel Prize. Nice actually, I enjoyed the discussions today. Right? Okay, it's 7:40. If there are no more questions, then I would like to conclude the session with Purnamada. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Master.
Hari.